He will capitulate on almost everything.
Right. He'll quietly fold, apparently. It's gonna blow you away. Who said this?
Now, allow me to continue. He talks a little bit about Mexico and then he goes back to Canada. So he says, by contrast, Canadian leaders have a political incentive to put up a bigger fight because Trump's threats towards Canada's economy and sovereignty have sharply inflamed nationalist sentiment north of the border in the run-up to the April 28th elections. Now, here is the key part right here. It says, however, I expect Ottawa will quietly fold after the vote to ensure that ongoing relations with the US remain functional. Canada will quietly fold, he says. So Ian Bremmer says that Canadian leaders are faking it, that they're only pretending to put up a fight against President Trump, and that they will quietly fold to the Americans after the election campaign. Okay, so what does this all have to do with Liberal leader Mark Carney? Well, everything. The author Ian Bremmer runs the Eurasia Group. He's the president and the founder of that organization. Now, if that sounds familiar, it's because that's where Mark Carney's wife, Diane Fox Carney, well, that's where she works. Ian is her boss. Who else works at the Eurasia Group with Ian? None other than Gerald Butts, the hard left environmentalist, Justin Trudeau's best friend, policy architect, and principal secretary. Trudeau threw Butts under the bus to take the blame for the SNC-Lavalin scandal, where they pressured Attorney General Jody Wilson-Raybould to cut a sweetheart deal with a large Liberal donor. Well, once Butts was pushed out of government, he hopped over to join Bremmer as the vice chairman of the Eurasia Group. Liberal insider Warren Kinsella spilled the beans on social media that Gerald Butts was now back in politics and working for Mark Carney. Here is what Warren Kinsella wrote back on January 12th. He said, Mark Carney is the Team Trudeau candidate. His campaign is being run by Gerald Butts, Katie Telford, et al., the ones who had to resign due to scandal or who had been implicated in multiple scandals, the ones who reduced the Liberal Party down to 16%.
Unreal, eh?
Carney equals Trudeau. Well, the Globe and Mail also recently confirmed this claim and reported that Gerald Butts is indeed advising Mark Carney on the campaign trail. This is the way that they describe Gerald Butts. They write, Eurasia Group Vice Chair Gerald Butts, Mr. Trudeau's principal secretary from 2015 to 2019, who has been offering advice to Mr. Carney. What a nice way of putting it. And the connections with the Eurasia Group don't end there. Former CBC journalist turned Liberal Party candidate Evan Solomon. Isn't it cute how that works, the revolving door between the CBC and the Liberal Party? Well, Evan Solomon is also part of this story. Solomon, as it turns out, got fired as a journalist several years ago over ethical issues surrounding high-priced fine art deals that he was facilitating through his journalism. It turned out that one of the wealthy buyers that Solomon was coordinating art sales with, while also pretending to interview them through his journalism, was none other than Mark Carney. Check out this headline in the UK Guardian. It says, Canadian journalist sacked in scandal involving art sale to Mark Carney. Bank of England governor was interviewed on CBC, the national broadcaster, by Evan Solomon, who brokered deals and took secret commissions, says reports. Well, the disgraced former journalist picked up a cushy job with, you guessed it, the Eurasia Group. According to his bio, he is a member of the Eurasia Group's management committee, and he's also the publisher of GZERO Media, the very publication that we're talking about, where Ian Bremmer admitted the plan for Canada to fold to President Trump right after the election. Now, to be fair, Ian Bremmer is an American political scientist and businessman focused on global political risk. He's not a Canadian, and he's not really a Liberal insider because he's not part of the Canadian Liberal Party, but he is surrounded by the creme de la creme of Liberal insiders in Canada, including the Prime Minister's wife, the Prime Minister's principal advisor, and one of Mark Carney's star Liberal candidates. Ian Bremmer is also paid to be in the know. That's his job. His job is to predict what will happen politically and then to advise his clients on their risk profile.
Well, I mean, it's hard to stop that. It's just such a great little rundown of the web of the entanglement of all these people, right? But why would he even say that then? You know, why if it's all so connected, why would he say to anybody out loud that, oh, he's just gonna quietly fold afterwards?
Yeah, I don't know. It's maybe to make sure that the right people hear it.
Yeah, maybe. So maybe this is kind of more of like a leak than an
Because
actual.
most people won't hear it. You know what I mean? Most of the public ain't gonna hear shit about that. Nothing.
Yeah.
But
It's a big shout out to Juno News and Candace Malcolm there for that. I think that was Candace Malcolm, right? Yeah. What a great little synopsis there.
I think, is that Kean Bexley? I think his dad's gonna end up being my MP.
Yeah.
I should take that seat. Then I could just say the same stuff. Grimerica, Grimerica, Grimerica. Every time I get on there. I heard about this on Grimerica. You guys, this is fucking crazy. Anyway, that's all we got for this week, I think.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate if you're getting some value from our little shows here. Head over to alist.ca. That's a-list, like it is behind Graham there, a-list.ca. And there's a support button there and a link to all the episodes, and you can share it with people. Hopefully soon we'll be monetized on YouTube, and you'll be able to support us over here as well. But there's a website and a podcast you can share with people if they prefer that format. So check that out. Check out our other show, Grimerica, the Grimerica Show, grimerica.ca. And if you go to that site, it'll take you to everything else we're up to over there. We got a bunch of stuff up in the menu, audiobooks, trips, all that sort of fun stuff. But yeah, support us if you like our content, alist.ca. Other than that, we love you guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.